All right, hello everyone, and welcome to week 3 of HCI 598. This week we're going to be talking about Milestone 2, which is basically the problem space and the research done on the users and the tasks for your project. So what is Milestone 2? Milestone 2 is basically an understanding of the problem you're addressing. So in order to actually do some research, you need to understand what problem you are actually planning to implement into your project. Milestone 2 deals with researching users' needs in addition to the tasks that they will need to complete in order to use your product. Milestone 2 includes interviewing possible users of your product. I recommend at least 3 people to interview. If you want to do more, that is great, but 3 people at least, so that way you get a variety of answers for your project. And finally, with Milestone 2, you're going to want to create a theoretical task list for the users based on the information that you receive. So for the report, similar to Milestone 1, 1 to 2 pages. It should be focused on the users. If it's a little bit more than 2 pages, that's fine. But we don't need to have like a 10-page report at this point. Focus on the users. It should contain a task list, the ideation of the project. By that I mean the research on the user ideation. So why you chose these specific people and how they fit your personas that you are using to represent your actual product. You might consider adding images that explain the process also. This could be them working with the theoretical device, any tools that would benefit your study, etc. So, and that is going to be depending on the study. I haven't yet seen what all of you are planning to do, so depending on what you want to do, that might change. So if you have questions on that, please feel free to email me this week and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Identifying users. You should have already started to identify users with your Milestone 1 as to who would be actually using the product or project that you are implementing, but you might still be narrowing that down. So some of the things to consider are who are the overall stakeholders for your system? What kind of different users will be affected or impacted by what you are implementing into this project. You need to focus on the background of your users. Are they varied? Is it very focused? Is there going to be multiple types of people that this could be useful for? What skills do they have? This could be broken down into how well do they know technology? How much do they have access to this actual product? What would be their task lists and their project description if they were to use it. What is the scenario that they'd be using this product for? And how can you actually gain this information? So think about those things before actually going into interviewing the people for your project. Which brings us to the interview section. You don't need to go undercover. Tell them exactly what the project is and what it is for. At this point, you don't need an IRB for this project. Like I said, you don't need one for this class. If you were to take this into a conference later, you will need an IRB in order to represent interviews, and you would have to implement new interviews in that case. But for now, since we're just gaining information, you don't need an IRB for this. I do suggest that you take notes, plenty of notes. If you would like to do a voice recording, make sure that you let your users know, but keep in mind that depending on the person, you need to make them feel very comfortable, honest answers, and with strong responses. So if they are someone that recording is going to make them not want to give the exact answers that would be the most honest and true, consider that in your interviews. So most of you, if you have questions on this, it's going to be kind of circumstantial. If you would like to ask me outside of class, send me an email and I can give you a better idea of what you might do for your specific interviews. Task list questions. What 3 tasks do they want to complete? So what would be 3 tasks for each specific user that would be most beneficial to your product? After that, think about how the task environment would be where they are actually using this product. Are they using these tasks are they using the product while they're in the car, in an elevator? Are they going to be always sitting down, standing up? Would they be in a hurry while using this project? You might want to mention physical environment as well, and time constraints if that's appropriate for your design. So what I mean there is depending on what tasks you're hoping to implement into your project, you might want to think about not only what they are, but how they're going to be carried through. And finally, other images that describe these tasks in the environment as well. If you have the ability to take pictures of things that would be helpful for your tasks, it's going to also help your research further along and keep things more organized throughout. Analysis of results. What breakdowns occur while users perform their tasks currently? Basically, this is, what are some things that could affect their tasks while they are implementing them, while they are carrying them through? Are there any constraints for the usability of your project at the moment? Is there going to be a size, a price, a material constraint? What are some strong and weak characteristics of your project and of the current tasks? What functionality should your system include to accommodate these tasks? These are all things you're going to want to consider while you're analyzing the results from your interviews and from the task lists that you have created. I put this in here also for just personal note that I myself have found helpful is make sure you take note of all the other notes that you take. For example, if you are doing more of an ethnographic study where you are taking notes on more observable more observable qualitative data, make sure you take notes of those things. Also, were there any questions or comments that surprised you? So while you are going to be interviewing, you are going to want to keep track of anything that may be useful to your study and project at this point. So that way, once we actually create the design and the prototype, you'll be better prepared for the possible results of your project. All right, measures. What measurable criteria will you use to evaluate the success of your design? So this is going to be done after the interviews, after you've done everything else. Think about how you're going to measure the results once you have implemented your actual project. It's going to be more quantitative or qualitative data. Consider those things and mention them in this report. So this milestone is due September 11th at 11:59 p.m. So that is Sunday, so not quite a week, but a week from now on Blackboard. If you need any additional time for a specific reason, please email me and we will see if we can work something out. But we do need to be moving along with this project and with these milestones quickly because the semester will go much faster than you think. A few things I want to point out before moving on. I'm going to go ahead and go to Blackboard here. Okay, so on Blackboard, I have listed under milestone submissions. You now have milestone 2. So remember, milestone 1 is due tomorrow night, which is Tuesday, September 6th at 11:59. You guys gained a few extra days due to the holiday being today. Milestone 2 is due next week, and if you have questions over how Milestone 2 is graded, I have written that out here for you. Milestone 2 is worth quite a few more points than Milestone 1 because it's going to be more descriptive. I will have your Milestone 1 reports back to you as soon as possible this week, so all of you can get going on Milestone 2 immediately. If we need an additional time for Milestone 2, if something needs to be changed, I will keep you updated on that. Also, one thing I wanted to point out here, I've had a lot of questions for what all the milestones are, what they're broken down to. So if you go to Course Content, choose Milestone Breakdowns, there are breakdowns of each of the milestones in addition to what the grading criteria is. So Milestone 2, Milestone 3, and so on and so forth. So make sure to check on those if you have questions, or like I said, you guys can always email me if you have additional questions. One more thing that I have submitted on Blackboard here is under course content. under project examples, there are 3 more examples there to check out from HCI 598 alums to look at. As always, keep your committees up to date. If you guys have questions on any of the information for graduation or for defending your study, setting up your oral presentation date, you're going to want to talk to Amy Carver, and her email is acarver@iastate.edu. I will go ahead and put that up here as well if you guys have questions there. Well, that is all that I have for you guys today. Make sure that you check back and that you guys have questions. Keep me in the loop for everything and keep working hard. Have a great rest of your Labor Day weekend. Thank you.